couple more bites and we're done this.
What follows is my reaction to the worst video that Ken Domik has ever made. When he returned from Cuba, less than 2 weeks later, he went to Nashville, USA. After he returned to his residence in Ontario, Canada, he was off the scene for 15 days and said with a post on his channel that he had a cold and had also thrown out his back. Now, I'm not saying that he was lying. Maybe he did throw out his back. What I can attest to is that he took this channel down with 3 fraudulent copyright strikes. With each one of those strikes, Ken Domik swore that he was going to bring a lawsuit against me for what I do here, when the reality is, this here is protected free speech. Ken Domik never brought any lawsuits. He did get to steal my personal data, including my real name and address, by having done that. So I can say that this man is a liar. Did he lie about throwing out his back? I don't know. I'm not saying he ever had COVID. I'm not saying he has it now. All that I can attest to is what he's given us with what he has produced. Ken Domik says, with this video, that he is sick. He then goes to a local restaurant and tells 3 staffers that he is sick. Nobody sanitizes their hands, nobody wears gloves, nobody wears a mask, and they take him into the kitchen where he speaks at length to all 3 of the people. He even brings his own receptacle for food into the kitchen. All of this is wildly unsafe and could potentially spread any virus. Because I want the widest audience possible for this, I'm going to censor the introduction and remove all swear words.
Drink, 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 donate. E-beggar. Drink, booze, hound. Drink, 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 donate. E-beggar. Drink, booze, hound. Drink, 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 donate. E-beggar. Drink, happy birthday, booze, hound. Hack, e-beggar.
I'm gonna ride this YouTube gravy train until the wheels fall off.
Donate. E-beggar. Donate. E-beggar. Donate. E-beggar.
Gravy train.
I'm not Muslim. I'm just a
food channel that's running out of ideas.
In the meantime, let's watch some TikTok. I'm a TikTok.
white Canadian.
I'm a TikTok. I'm white. I'm a TikTok.
White Canadian.
I'm a TikTok. I'm white.
I'm not Muslim. I'm just a white Canadian.
White guy.
Hitler flap.
Thank you very much. White guy. Because I'm white.
So the Japanese are horrible people. If I had a gun and you were right in front of me, I'd put the gun to your face.
I'm gonna ride this YouTube gravy train until the wheels fall off.
I think I've stalled.
If I had a gun and you were right in front of me, I'd put the gun to your face.
Bitch. I did the uncut raw videos.
Whether we win or lose, we drink booze. A British peanut.
I have 0 knowledge.
I'm very uneducated.
Is this your full-time job? Yes.
This is a business.
Topper's Pizza.
This is a business.
Topper's Pizza. That sucked like. That sucked huge.
Do you enjoy doing food reviews as much, or are you bored? I'm bored!
I only promote things that I like.
The Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery, Jackery, my Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery, Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery's working its butt off.
Blue Eddie, this thing is absolutely amazing. Call me a sellout. Tangy. Tangy. Tangy.
Tangy, tangy, tangy.
Tangy.
I'm insane. Double. Hi, can I get a medium Pepsi, please?
Sorry?
Medium Pepsi.
There's a sign here saying turtles.
Oh,
Yep, yeah.
oh, this is my car.
We're gonna do it. Here we go. Ready?
Oh no.
It's totally messy, but the idea is you keep it in the wrapper.
I know. I want people to see it.
And he wanted to eat this in the car. So I think we could have, no? It would have rocked my car. I'm not Muslim. I'm just a white Canadian Hitler flap. See what I mean? Hitler flap.
Thank you very much.
Because I'm white. The Chinese are horrible, so the Japanese are horrible people. Beautiful, 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 beautiful looking lunch.
You are good at describing food.
You really got to stop that. You really need to stop that. How else to fix this? You really got to stop that. You really need to stop that. This is the dumpster that your mom and I found you in. Your real name was going to be called Waste Management.
Yeah, I made more money than you ever did.
Like I said, I'm still recovering, and this is definitely helping me recover and having a good time at the same time.
Now, if your child, don't watch this.
Great start to the worst video that you've ever made, flexing that old fob from the Toronto YouTube offices that closed a while back. Everything with you all the time is using somebody else's trademarks to somehow create some sort of excitement and legitimacy to what you do, while the core of your material is always weak and ridiculous. So go back to playing with the dashboard for another half minute, and then we can get to the next scene.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, stay there. Stay right there, Ken, and put your order in and have somebody bring it to your prop car, Rusty, in the shack in the Elf Village, and just sit there and don't cause any potential harm to anyone. They will bring the food to you. You can write it all off. No. Ken is just powering up. Oh, by the way, like, everything is carefully placed. You know, he wears the sports team materials. He's got the Buc-ee's hat there. It's carefully placed. Of course, the steering wheel tray is carefully placed, and he tells you where to buy it every time he uses it. And he's got the pillow from the closed YouTube offices, which was done a while back. Everything's there because the core of it is not interesting. That's why he has to be draped and all that stuff all the time. Anyway, here is Ken getting started, and the last thing that he did was November 29th, 2022, Nashville Hot Chicken, someplace in the USA where he was, and then we had nothing from him until December 14th, 2022. That is 15 days, and that is especially strange because December is the most profitable YouTube month. It's like, you know, back in the day for the big three TV networks and the Nielsen ratings, all that stuff, they would call something Sweeps Week. And that's what December is for YouTube. But Ken has missed half of it. So you know that something big has kept him off the scene for 15 days. And maybe it is as he said, and he just had a really bad cold. It is just that I don't believe him, and I don't believe that story about him throwing out his back, which is why he was away for so long. And I'm not making any statements. It's just that Ken lies about things. So maybe he did have COVID, and he's just now almost recovered from it. Even if he doesn't have it, then he's at least still got some sort of really bad, weird cold that's left over. He says that he's sick, and that's why this is the worst video he has ever made, because what are we all supposed to say? I'm like, he says he's sick and he's gonna go interact with a food place and they're gonna let him in the kitchen.
And welcome back to the channel. It has been about 2 weeks since I launched my last video, leading up to the boy.
Now, do you guys see that little bit of white crud above his left hand? That is Ken spitting while he talks. Some people do it, some people don't, and he does. So it was January 2nd of this year that I did a footage of sort of the same thing, and I said he did it accidentally. I didn't say it was on purpose. And it got demonetized and age restricted. And I had to appeal it, and so now it's monetized again. I don't want to go through the whole thing all over again, alright? So I'm not going to zoom in on this. Because, you know, YouTube considers that to be fetish material, like, you know, barf or something. Even though it got approved after appeal, I don't want to, you know, put in all the extra work, because I don't get anything more than peanuts here anyway. So, I'm going to run it again, and then run it in slow, and it's just getting started. He's spitting all over the place with this one.
The boys and I going to Nashville for the football game and the football weekend. I wasn't feeling great, but I really wanted to go so badly.
For this one, when Ken says the B sound for so badly, there's like chunks that fly out of him and are above the Bucky's hat. And that's just the worst of it. There's still more following that rains down in the area of his right shoulder in front of the dark colored jersey that he's wearing. So I'm gonna play it a bunch of times fast and then slow like before.
So badly, 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 so badly. So badly to Nashville for the football game and the football weekend. I wasn't feeling great, but I really wanted to go so badly.
That was your selfish reasoning? Like, Ken, you are 56 years of age, and you know when you're starting to get sick, and the excuse you used was, I wanted to go so badly. We have learned over the past few years not to be this mean towards everybody else. We know how you treated COVID. You made fun of it. And you profited from it with lies. Ken Domik, isolation stream. And then you were on the road the next day and people would complain. And you would say, well, it wasn't isolation. I stayed in the shack in the Elk Village. That's what you do all the time anyway. An isolation thing is you stay someplace for like 2 weeks. You don't leave the next day. So you exploited it for money. You played 1970s style mocking porno music when you put on the hand sanitizer. You complained about the masks. When the mandate was done for the masks, you're like, yay, we don't have to have masks anymore. And you know you're getting sick and you go travel the same? You're a big dum-dum. I can't swear with this one. You silly dummy guy. Anyway, we're totally serious. You start to know that you're feeling sick and you travel anyway. Just because I really gotta go so badly. What a selfish jerk.
And I was feeling okay. I thought I was recovering.
No wonder that you have no friends and that like nobody wants to come by and like help your totally boring weekly live streams. Listening to how you talk is sickening. You're totally into yourself, totally irresponsible, and we do not even understand why you're sharing all this. Just listen to you. I kind of felt better, and I went over here, and they were feeling crummy, and we all got together, and we went anyway. I mean, why don't you just say you're all a bunch of poo-poo dummies? Everybody knows what I want to say. It just listening to how you justify this is revolting.
Before we left, the night before we left, I went to Paul's house, and I felt like I was kind of recovering. And the same with Ed, and the same with Matthew. All of us had like a bit of a sniffle and a cough, but you know, I tried to avoid being close to everybody as possible.
What are you talking about? And why share this story, which I don't even believe? I don't believe it. I don't believe that you were off the scene for 2 weeks and 1 day because you threw your back out. You irresponsible dummies. I just figured out how to swear without it. You blanking blank holes went to the United States of America all feeling sick to bring your sickness there. You know what's the worst? When you travel. Especially when you go from one country to another that has different laws on what you have to do to fight viruses. And you go there and you're not wearing masks. What a bunch of blanking dummies.
As much as I could. Anyway, and then when we were in Nashville, we sat in the stadium for 3 or 4 hours in the same spot, freezing. The day before it was warmer than that, and then I underdressed at the stadium, and I paid for it dearly because from then going forward, I got more and more and more sick. And today is probably one of the first days I feel probably 90% better.
Something pulled you off the scene for 2 weeks and 1 day. And this is the month of December, the most profitable month, and if we know one thing about Ken Domik, he's here for his business. So you come back, and we can hear it in your voice that you're still sick. You're using the number of 90% to make it sound all okay. It's probably like, 50%, because you still sound pretty rough. So you're sick, and stay at the shack in the Elf Village. There's no reason why you couldn't have had food delivered right to that stupid car where you are and just do it there. Oh no, you're telling everybody it's 90% good, so it's okay to go interact with people. You're the same irresponsible jerk that you were before.
This side, I got, so the cold developed into a really nasty cough, and that went into a sinus infection.
Do you guys see that piece of crud in front of the steering wheel tray? That's coming out of Ken. Because he is sick, he is probably somewhat numb to parts of his own body. And normally he's got to be eating to be producing this much material. He's just sitting there talking. And I don't think he's 90% good. I think he's half. He's just good enough to be able to sit there and do stuff. And, he wants his money, right? So he shouldn't be interacting with other people, and it's all over the place. That's just the biggest one that we can see from here. And anyway, I'm just gonna run it a few times, and so you guys get. There's no way he should be going to interact with anyone.
That went into a sinus infection. And 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 that went into a sinus infection. I'm not sure if you've ever had a sinus infection, but the pain in your head from the sinus infection is crazy. And that's probably the worst sinus infection I ever had. And probably 3 days after I got back from Nashville, I was in my office organizing one of my camera bags, and I was missing a...
My feeling is that Ken is giving us a very exotic story to cover up the fact that he might have gotten COVID, which is why he was away for so long. Like, it doesn't kill everybody, you know. For the most part, it lays you low for a while. And we know how Ken wants his money, and this is the most profitable month. And he's coming back, and we can hear it in his voice that he's still sick with something. Weird cold, or the leftovers of COVID. We don't know for sure. And I'm just making a suggestion that this exotic story coming from Ken, who is a history of being dishonest. Look, why do I hold myself back? He struck this channel 3 times and brought the whole channel down with fraudulent copyright strikes. And he has so many years of experience on YouTube, he knows he has to bring a lawsuit, and he never did. He did it just so he could take my personal data and steal it through dishonest means. So, we know that he's a genuine liar. And I'm just saying there's a possibility that given his history, this story might be 100% fake. And what is not fake is he is still sick with something. And I don't think he's 90% good.
An adapter or one of those little cubes to plug my phone in. I thought maybe I left it in the wall. And because I was like kind of standing and then I kind of like leaned forward.
Such an exotic story to explain why he was away. I do not believe it. Anyway, finish your story, Ken, and let's get to you going to a restaurant and getting into the kitchen with all your spittle and sickness potentially being shared into the food.
A little bit just to see around a desk to see a plug to see if it was in there. My back went out like that, dropped to the floor. So it has taken 2 weeks to recover from this, and again, I'm only about 90% better, but we figured the best remedy right now as I'm recovering would be some Jamaican style chicken soup and the jerk pork pasta. And so we're going to go back up to, I don't want to go too far away from the house, so that's why I kind of chose the best Jamaican place around, and that is Taste of the Grill. We've been there once before. Let's go back and get some more food.
This feels like the earlier days of COVID, when Ken would leave the shack in the Elf Village to go get junk food, and we would ask, why? Why do you have to do this? The answer then, as it is now, he just doesn't care. The same derivative and uninspired music choices from Epidemic Sound, the same product placement, all with it carrying Ken bringing his sickness to a restaurant this time. Just look how busy they are not after Ken Domik's involvement earlier. The vehicle on the left is rusty, and the thing on the right is of the owners. And when Ken pulls in, it's empty. So he goes there, lets them know that he's there, and then they show up and they set up for him to make his video uninterrupted by customers, and then he gets out of there. So the main thing is when Ken pulls up, there's nobody there waiting. You know, it's the amazing effect of all of his subscribers, most of whom left him years and years ago.
All right, Taste of the Grill open.
Yes, it is, and it looks like Ken will not have any trouble finding a parking spot either.
Sweet. Well, we made it to Taste of the Grill.
What do you mean by we made it? The mouse in your pocket? No, that was a joke. Seriously, it is Ken and all the germs that he brought with him, because he said he is sick and he's gonna go have interaction with other people when he should have just stayed at his shack in the Elf Village and not done this. And one other thing, you made it! Perfect driving conditions and a serviceable vehicle. What an accomplishment!
In Bellewart, Ontario, Canada. And let's go in there, grab that soup, and let's see if that helps me feel better. I bet it does. Let's go.
Leaving the vehicle with no hand sanitization. starting the interaction with no gloves.
Brittany.
Hi, how are you?
All right, how you doing?
I was just thinking to myself, I said, I wonder when I'm going to see Ken again.
Today's the day. I'm recovering from sinus infection and
On your Instagram there. You feeling better?
So this employee of Taste of the Grill knows that Ken is sick, and Ken has just said that he is sick, and neither one of them is wearing a mask, and soon they will be breaking the social distancing. This is how anything gets spread. Stupid people doing what they do.
today about 90% better, but I wanted to see if Jay's soup is going to heal me.
Our Ken is using the fact that he is sick as some sort of angle, which is wildly stupid and irresponsible and mean and reckless. If you are sick, stay at home, or if you're going to leave for something which is not essential, at least cover up with a mask and gloves. So Ken uses it as a gimmick. It's like, I'm sick, I need some of your chicken soup. Just so pathetic.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have like a small and large, or do you have like a regular?
Are you going to dine in or take to go?
Take to go.
The to go is only one size.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, cool.
The jerk pork pasta
Nice.
and plantain again. Is it plantain or plantain?
Yes, I know that I'm letting a lot of Ken's pointing and unable to speak properly go, because this is the worst video he's ever done, and it's all about everybody knowing that he's sick and getting him into the kitchen. That's what this is all about.
Plantain. Okay. Like we've been planting.
We've been
planting. Hey, Georgette, how are you?
Good, how are you?
All right.
You're back, I see.
Recovering from sickness, so.
Are you?
Yeah, so I just want to. No.
So Ken tells this woman that he is sick. We can hear it in his voice. She acknowledges it and makes fun of it. So disappointed at the owners of this restaurant. And when we ask ourselves, when sicknesses spread so quickly and hospitals become overwhelmed, it's mostly because of stupid people who are taking it as a joke. Like, what do you have to do to protect yourself? A little sanitization, gloves, a mask, be careful, and we have stupid people doing this.
Yeah, I'm like 90% better, so. But I felt like I needed some Jamaican chicken soup and some jerk food, so.
Which is, I'm telling you, all that pepper is going to kick.
Yeah.
They have talked about this beforehand, and the angle is Ken is sick, haha, so he needs some spicy soup to get better, ha ha, hee hee, ho ho. And he doesn't just show up and surprise them with this. They're already going to get the soup ready for him, and they know he's going to be there. The other part, which isn't so funny, is that they're endangering all of their customers and themselves by doing this. Ha ha, hee hee, ho 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 ho. Stay away from Taste of the Grill, because if this is what they do, they probably make a whole lot of other stupid mistakes in addition to this.
Can't wait. All right, let's go back and see Jay.
So we almost have Ken Domik and his sickness, whatever it is, and his germs in the kitchen. Just one more thing to do before we get there, which is to break the social distancing with the woman opening the door for him.
All right.
The woman is holding the door for Ken because he has his hands filled with camera equipment. As he passes by her, they brush against one another, so there is no social distancing whatsoever. Ken is sick with what he says is the remains of a cold. It doesn't matter. He's sick. He has no mask. She has no mask. Neither one of them has gloves. And then this woman that he's just brushing past will go back to her job at the front and deal with people and credit cards and all the rest. This is how it happens, through stupid mistakes.
Jay.
Remember from earlier that when Ken is speaking and makes powerful noises, there is spittle all over the place. And that's not just spittle, that's what we can see and what we can't see. And when he says Jay, you can bet that it's flying all over the place right now, and he's made it to the kitchen.
It's time to eat more J food. How are you, sir?
The elbow bump is not going to make a lick of difference because the chef has no mask and Ken has no mask and Ken is sick and they're about to get real good and close.
Elbows.
How was your trip?
Excellent. Yeah. Nashville was great, but I think it just made me more sick because we...
Not only was this all spoken of ahead of time because Ken is not surprising them and getting back here for his soup, they are confirming by him providing the chatter, how was your trip? And then Ken says, yeah, I got back from Nashville, which is another country, and he's saying that he's sick. And we can hear it in his voice that he's sick. And the reason why I keep saying he has no mask is because later on in the footage, Ken is going to show he has no mask. So everybody knows that he's sick. Everybody knows he just got in from another country, and he's in the kitchen, and it's all wrong and stupid to do.
Sat in the stadium for 4 hours. And it was like the day before was nice and I would say medium warm, but then sitting in the stadium.
Sitting in the stadium are projectile spittle words from Ken. And remember earlier that just speaking normally and with something with a little bit of punch with it, like saying the boys and infection, and he just said, you know, sitting in the stadium, the spittle's flying all over the place. He has no mask. She has no mask. All stupid.
And just freezing for 4 hours.
Listen to the pathetic war story Ken is trying to get across here. He went to a football game and sat in the stadium for like 4 hours. So what? Nobody cares. Do not forget that when a tornado hit Barrie, Ontario, Canada in 2021, Ken ran a picture from the CBC of another neighborhood, and he said, oh, this is what my neighborhood looked like. And people were like, oh, I hope you're safe, Ken. Prayers for Ken and family. That's the type of person Ken is. You went to a football game. Wow, we were there, and it was kind of chilly here for 4 hours. Really? Wow, Ken, what a hero you are.
It was a killer, yeah. So I made it worse, and then one of my buddies is still in bed, so...
Really? Wow? That is what you have to say when you're dealing with Ken Domik. And you mistakenly believe that he's a big YouTuber with more than 500,000 subscribers, and that all you have to do is give him some free food, let him use your restaurant as a set piece so he can make his money on a video, and you're going to get the benefit of the steal of the deal and get all this business from him. When if only they knew that when you show up for a Ken Domik live stream, which shows up pretty regularly, even though he bails some of the time, everybody has a week of notice for it, and like 130 people show up from this alleged more than 500,000 subscribers. So it's like, wow, really? So he's gonna lose a leg, right? No, he's just, you know, taking it easy and he's staying in bed. Great story, Ken. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, there's 4 of you guys on.
Yeah, 4 of us. So the big guy, Ed, he's still sick. But he was sick before he went, too.
So Ken had that whole conversation with that woman while she's not wearing a mask and he's not wearing a mask and he's saying that he's sick and his friends are all still sick. And we remember from the earlier part of this reaction that when Ken speaks, there's spittle flying all over the place, and that's carrying the germs too. And he's especially prolific with his spittle because he's sick. Everybody there knows he's sick, and they let him in the kitchen.
Oh, he's getting jerk parts.
All right, yeah. So here you guys are full dining now? Excellent.
We just keep dropping little nuggets.
Excellent, yeah. All right. Yeah. Either that or you just sit in your car like me.
Those two owners of the restaurant think they're going to get huge business from Ken Domik. So when he says something not funny, as if it's funny, they laugh at it. Or you can just eat it in your car like I do. How is that funny? Just our Ken noting what he's been doing for more than a decade, following a trend that he had nothing to do with creating after the cat videos didn't work. Because the cat videos, it's like 2% of them go viral. And everybody is making cat videos. Like, Ken was, I made my cat video, where's my money? Because everybody's making the same cat video, that's why. Oh, let me try this trend. Oh, look, I got lucky with it. And there he is after all these years. I'll just go eat it in the car, it will be so funny.
And enjoy it while it's hot.
You got the views, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Here are a few other items that are also true. While the video that Ken did with them did get 48,000 views over 6 weeks, for a channel that has allegedly more than 500,000 subscribers, that's fairly weak. And the majority of Ken's audience is scattered all over the United States of America, Canada, and some in Europe. Those people are not going to be making the journey to Taste of the Grill. This would only make sense if Taste of the Grill offered online products, and even then, Ken Domik's channel doesn't translate into hard sales. It's just people enjoying the fact that it's Jamaican food, and it's an interesting place to shoot footage of. What Taste of the Grill should do is start their own YouTube channel, put it on their own website, use their own restaurant as their own set to control, and promote themselves locally, which will get them some sales, and then if they can create some excitement, that will bring more sales. For them to believe that Ken Domik and his 48,000 views is getting them business is ridiculous. The Ken Domik audience is made up of stupid people. And if some person on the west coast of Canada who wants to watch Ken Domik stuff himself and make silly penis jokes, that will not translate into sales for this business.
You got the views, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, there's my bucket.
In regards to what was just said about Taste of the Grill promoting themselves more effectively, speaking for myself, I couldn't care less because I wouldn't go there. All 3 employees have just let sick Ken into the kitchen, up to and including allowing him to bring his own materials from the shack in the Elf Village and put them right there with their own kitchen materials.
It's gonna be full of goodness soon. What are those?
This is called Guinness.
And what do I do with it? Just eat it straight?
Yeah, open it.
Okay. Oh, it's kind of like a grape.
Check those gloves. That man put them on before he started handling the food to keep everything nice and clean, which is great. However, he's let sick Ken into the kitchen. And as we have to be reminded from earlier, the more Ken talks, the more his spittle is all over the place. It's dangerous and stupid. Just remember the gloves, because this video is going to get even more crazy. I kid you not.
All right. Should I try it now, or let's give it a shot?
So it's like,
It's not like a red grape.
it's like a grape, but it has a big seed in it.
Oh, there is a seed in it? Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out in a second.
Lychee.
Oh, lychee, okay.
With our Ken having told us he is sick before he goes to Taste of the Grill, and with us being able to hear the sickness in his voice, and having told all 3 employees that he is sick, and being allowed in the kitchen without a mask or gloves, Ken is now fiddling with food with no gloves while ignoring a box of gloves. There are no words left for the stupidity and neglect of Ken Domik and the staff of Taste of the Grill, which is why I'm going to stop talking here.
Let's see if I can open this thing. Jay did it like a pro. Let's squeeze it out. Give it a shot. I don't think I've ever had this before.
No?
No. Yeah, like a grape.
Here comes the ding-dong that works the front. She comes in, she looks around, and then she leaves. Perfect. so she can share Ken's spittle with anyone that comes to the front counter. Great job.
It's very gooey. It's stuck to the seed, so you gotta like chew it off.
Even though Ken is only 56, we all know that he looks like he's 72. And there he is looking really rough because he's sick. He's told them all that he's sick. He's told us that he's sick. And they're all letting him in the kitchen with no mask or gloves or sanitization before coming in there. So with everything that we all know about staying safe for ourselves and others, there's just no excuse for giving a pass to Taste of the Grill for allowing this. Stay away from Taste of the Grill. They are idiots.
I'm not sure if you've ever had cocoa, but when it's fresh off the vine.
Please, Ken, stop talking about food. Cocoa beans do not get harvested fresh off the vine.
The cocoa pod is that it grows from the trunk of the tree rather than growing from some kind of vine.
If it doesn't come in a cardboard box from a big chain, then you don't know anything about it. And you don't want to know anything about it. Perhaps, instead of coming up with more cheap tricks to get more clicks and money, such as dressing like a big sports fan when we all know you don't know anything about the teams, maybe you could try to learn something about food. Now, why bother doing that, right, Ken? Just keep saying the Jays and the Leafs are playing tonight and tell people, let me know what you think in the comments below, even though you don't pay attention and you don't care.
It's got like a paste around it kind of thing, with, again, the seed.
So like, you mean coffee bean?
Even though I do not like what Ken does with his channel, and to criticize him is protected free speech, with him having taken this channel down with 3 fraudulent copyright strikes with no intention of bringing a lawsuit, so Ken is a liar. He did say cocoa. Cocoa, cocoa. Not coffee. Then again, I used to feel sorry for Taste of the Grill because they consider Ken to be a big YouTuber, and he isn't. Yet what difference does it make now? Taste of the Grill allows sick people into their kitchen without sanitizing their hands, without gloves, and without a mask. So stay away from Taste of the Grill. They are so stupid. They should not be producing food.
Well, maybe it's the coffee bean, yeah.
Coffee bean.
Yeah, and they've got like that slime around it and you can eat it. Looks good, Jay.
Thank you, sir.
Goodness. Of course, presentation.
It was you guys who pointed out the Kraft shredded Parmesan cheese before I even got this reaction started. And I checked, yes, it does have wood in it. And the reason why it's got wood in it is after it's grated, the wood prevents it from clumping. So that's why it's a great consumer item for convenience. Yet as far as the culinary arts really are concerned, it's junk, because real Parmesan cheese doesn't have that crap in it. I guess it just saves some work of having to shred it every time you use it.
Very nice.
Yes, Ken, very nice. At Taste of the Grill, you get Taste of the Wood in your cheese for convenience purposes.
Parmesan.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah, there's 2 trips. There's the Cuba trip and then the Nashville trip. So Cuba's a lot of fun. Yeah, we got to actually go into there's a city called Moron, which is just south, about an hour south of Coco, and then there's a town just south of Moron called Pina.
So apparently Ken did make a brief visit to one of the towns away from the resort itself, although he hasn't given us any footage of it, or maybe he never will. Who knows? Who cares? The more he travels, the more dangerous he becomes. And what difference does it make anyway? He already told them that he was sick, and there he is in the kitchen.
And so we actually got to go to a local's home and visit his wife and his kids and have dinner with them. It was really an eye-opener, because they can't even get onions, and then the government shuts their power off every 4 hours. So they get power for 4 hours and then they shut it off for 4 hours. Cuba. So, and it's because I think the the hurricane that went through, it did a lot of damage to the west side of the island.
Remember that as Ken talks and talks and talks and talks, the more he is spittling and spittling, and he's allowed to be in the kitchen, and this man is not wearing a mask either. It's just so stupid. Like, even though this is not like a dramatic scene, this is still the worst video that Ken has ever done.
Which is where most of their power comes from. So, yeah, so they're only giving power out when they have it, basically, I guess. They're kind of sharing it. Now I know how to eat it. Thanks to all the people in the comment section.
Actually, since you made your video, next time you come, actually, before you finish, I'll make you try it.
Oh.
When I'm finished the next order.
Okay, what's that?
With your comment about the dessert, I made a dessert with the pan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because as I'm eating.
Get ready. This came from one of you guys, and I'm sorry I can't remember the name as I'm putting this reaction together. The chef is about to spit something into his gloved hand to keep it from going on the floor. Then he puts it into the trash. Then he goes right back to preparing food. What can I say? I mean, what's the point of having gloves if you talk to a sick person such as Ken and you spit into your glove and then don't change your glove and keep cooking?
I'm thinking, is this a dessert or is this something you eat? And most of the people that love Jamaican food said it's something you eat and you eat. And most of the people that love Jamaican food said it's something you eat and you eat. And most of the people that love Jamaican food said it's something you eat and you eat. And most of the people that love Jamaican food said it's something you eat and you eat. And most of the people that love Jamaican food said it's something you eat and you eat. And most of the people that love Jamaican food said it's something you eat with your food. It's like French fries on the side, but plantain. So Jay was going to make me a special.
Our Ken is about to point way too much at Jay, which is just rude. However, with what we have here, it's not important. Because the worst thing is that they're not being safe in regards to protecting against viruses. So, anyway, just run through it.
Dessert with plantain. We'll have to do it the next time I come in. But the thing you're missing right now is ice cream. But you kind of did like a funnel cake with plantain, ice cream, and strawberries. So we'll do that next time we come in. But anyway, thanks for the food, sir.
The elbow bump is not important. The important thing is the social distancing has been wrecked, and both of them have been talking at length, with neither of them wearing masks.
Appreciate it. I'm going to go in my car and indulge. All right. Thank you very much. All right, Brittany. Thank you very much. You don't need to staple it or anything. It's not going to last much longer. Yeah, I'll throw that in there. Great. Thanks, Brittany. Have a good day. Thanks, Jay. Bye. Ciao. Let's eat.
What Ken is doing right there is what he should have done at the start of the video.
Hello, guys, and welcome back.
The restaurant Taste of the Grill is in your local area, so you should have stayed there in your car, in the driveway, at the shack in the Elf Village, made your order, sat there, waited for it, and then you could still be sitting there, holding the bag, without ever having exposed the sickness, potentially, to other people. And that's what you did. To at least 3 people that day, and then those idiots exposed others afterward.
Hi people, we are back in the car with some amazing Jamaican food. That was funny. Just as I was leaving, Jay came out of the kitchen with his knife in his hand still, and Brittany was laughing hysterically. So, all right guys.
None of it is funny, and I do not want to go through the footage of him slobbering his way through the food because it takes away from the seriousness of what he has done. There was no need for it. It was not required for him to expose his illness to others who were not sanitizing their hands or wearing masks or gloves just so he could get some free food and try to sell this tray again. What have we got here? He's got 2 pathetic penis jokes.
I'm going to put on half of my meat.
Ooh la la.
Oh, look at the size of that noodle.
Ooh la la.
Oh, yeah.
What else do we have? How about Ken Domik asserting that the COVID threat is over?
So they've been surviving almost a year on just takeout, which is great during the pandemic. Well, the ending of the pandemic.
Both Ken Domik and myself use Apple products, so perhaps Ken should consult with the most recently updated version of the dictionary on his computer for the word pandemic. Quote, a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease over a whole country or the world at a particular time. The impact of the pandemic caused loved ones to be separated and unable to meet in person. The results may have been skewed by an influenza pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic. Close quote. The pandemic is still on, Ken Domik. It isn't over, and it isn't to be laughed at as you just did.
It's totally gutsy to start a restaurant right at the tail end of a pandemic.
What else do we have? With Ken having said at the start that he was sick, he's now gone to the restaurant, gone through the kitchen, gotten his food. How about he says he's sick one more time?
So let us know in the comments below, what's your favorite comfort food when you're sick? It's definitely soup. Probably chicken noodle. or chicken, yeah, chicken noodle soup is probably the number one answer, I guess. Like I said, I'm still recovering, and this is definitely helping me recover and having a good time at the same time.
Even with all we have learned the hard way about how to keep ourselves safe and to be safe for others so that they will too, there were people who never took it seriously, and that includes Ken Domik, who used to refer to it at its worst as the craziness that's going on in the world right now. What else do we have? He's going to tell you to go buy some things from a place that has poor health practices.
Fish for perch. And if you're near Bellewart, look up Taste of the Grill, and then have somebody zip over in a snowmobile, grab a bunch of these, maybe film before you come, maybe film the day before so they know you're going to order a bunch. Depending on how many guys or girls are ice fishing, and buy a bunch of these. Whether you catch any fish or not, you'll be the talk of the town.
Forget about catching fish. If you go there, you just might catch something else, because they let sick people into their kitchen without hand sanitizing, without gloves, and without a mask. And they produce the food and send it right out. No problemo. Yeah, I guess you would be the talk of the town for reasons you might not want. What do we have left? Let me guess. A go out and get it now plus?
Taste of the Grill chicken soup, a go out and get it now plus.
Plus what? Plus this. Whatever it was, Ken, I never said that you had COVID. It is you who said that you were sick with something, and you left the shack in the Elf Village because you wanted to have a good time, and what you did was reckless, irresponsible, stupid, and the worst video you've ever made on your channel. You indifferent, self-centered, mean-spirited, colossal jerk!
Is that it?
That's it.
British peanut.
Double. That sucked like. That sucked huge.
White Canadian. The Japanese are horrible people. White Canadian. The Japanese are horrible people. White Canadian. The Japanese are horrible people.
Tangy.